Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight, we're going to be headed back into the Spaceship universe because I got this idea that I've really wanted to do for a while now. Let's check it out.
Hi, my name is Mayan, and I would like a story about the letter planet. And plus, it's already going to be dinner, so I love your podcast.
Well, Mayan, there was no way I could say no to that request, so I have created a story about the letter planet. I'm honestly not sure if it's exactly what you were thinking, but it's what popped into my head when I got the idea. So, close your eyes, get as comfy as you can in that bed, and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. Imagine yourself waking up on Spaceship once again. Good morning, Spaceship says. I believe I have found an interesting planet to explore. What is it, Spaceship? You ask. Well, this planet seems to act rather strangely. It is made entirely out of letters. Like, the kind of letters that go through the mail? You ask. No, like the letters A, B, C. My scouts show that the letters form themselves into words, which form themselves into things. I almost don't even know what you mean, you respond. So, we better go check that out. I thought you would say that. We are already there. You get up and look out the window to see, a very strange-looking planet. A planet that's almost blank with letters flying all around it. Letters flying through space like comets. As you descend closer to the planet, you see that the main continent looks like, it looks like a gigantic open book. Two large pages with a huge mountain range between them. Scattered across it are shapes that spell words. Cities built out of text. Highways written in bold. Rivers that read waves on them. You lean forward in awe. This is incredible, and it also doesn't make any sense. Spaceship says. The atmosphere appears to be... Wait, oh dear, that can't be right. Sensors are detecting a word cloud. What do you mean a word cloud? I believed it was an ordinary cloud. However, it is made out of words. What words? You ask. The word cloud. And the letters are getting sucked into the intake manifolds. Is that bad? You ask. Yes, most clouds can easily be sucked through the intake manifolds. However, this cloud is composed of some sort of letters. C, L, O, U, D, endlessly repeating. You look out the window and sure enough, you see the letters smashing against the spaceship. What are we gonna do? You ask. Attempting to reform the ship to make room for the letters. Increasing size of intake manifolds. Operation failed. Crash imminent. Oh no, you say as you sit down in the command seat and strap on your seatbelt. Hold on tight, Spaceship says. As the engines begin to cough, The ship drops free fall out of the sky. Oh no! You plummet through the atmosphere, past half-formed words and strange shapes. You crash into the ground with a mighty boom that sends letters spraying in every different direction. Smoke curls up from the ship's insides, but it isn't normal smoke. For some reason, it's made up of tiny little letters, S-M-O-K-E, as they bob and float up throughout the ship and into the atmosphere. I will begin repair. You may wish to explore. You open up the back hatch. It makes a hissing noise which, for some reason, also spells itself in the air. H-I-S-S-S-S-S. The ship's door folds open, and around you, you see letter people running in all different directions, panicking. A large letter A dashes by, flapping his triangular arms. A B stumbles after him, bouncing awkwardly, and a C is just waddling in circles, wailing, "We're doomed, doomed." Lowercase letters cling to the bigger ones. Maybe they're parents? A small E hides behind a large E. A timid little B cries, "What's gonna happen to my room, my bed, my blanket?" You take in the chaos. Buildings have collapsed into piles of loose letters. Signs are jumbled nonsense. The once proud library is now just a heap of letters. L's, I's, B, R's, A's, Y's. "Oh dear," you say as you scratch your head awkwardly. Out of the smoke, which is still spelling smoke, S-M-O-K-E, 3 particularly large figures emerge. Capital A, a living letter A, starts marching towards you, stiff-backed and triangular, arms crossed like he's in charge of every single letter in the universe. "Who," he demands, "dares crash into our world and scatter our letters into this disrespectful mess?" Behind him, a bee wobbles into view, round and kind of jiggly looking, panting like someone who has just run a marathon. "Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, my curves are all out of alignment. Look at me, I'm practically a lowercase disaster." C swoops in, its teeth chattering. We're finished, we're doomed. The words are scrambled, the grammar's broken. Civilization as we know it is slipping into gibberish. If we don't get these words together soon, they could transform into anything. And just then, as if it was listening to the letter C, a word does accidentally form together. D-R-A-G-O-N accidentally collide in the pile of scrambled letters. Something rises up off of the ground and expands itself into a huge dragon. A dragon made out of the same letters repeatedly circling its body. It takes in a deep breath and lets out a plume of fire. The words F, I, R, and E continuously shoot out of the dragon's mouth, each one completely on fire themselves. The crowd runs for cover, and the dragon flies up in the air, lets out a screeching sound, which also spills itself in the air, and flies off. Okay, look, I'm really sorry. This crash was really my fault, but the spaceship sucked in letters. We didn't know there'd be letters in the cloud, and I don't even really know how one could predict that. And they got in the manifold, and then the spaceship just sort of crashed here. I'm really, really sorry. Is there any way I can help put things back together? The large capital A just throws his hands into the air. The entire town is ruined. The library is now just a tragic pile of syllables. The school is collapsed, and what are we going to do? Well, normally I could help rebuild with 3D printers and stuff, but I don't really understand how this world works. How do you normally build houses and things? What do you mean, how do we build houses and things? If you wish to build a thing, says the letter A, you find the letters, you put them together in the right order, and the thing exists. Really? You think about the dragon. It had just formed together out of the letters D, R, A, G, O, and N, and then it turned into a full-out dragon and flew off. All right. Where exactly was your house? You ask the letter A. It was right over there, and it will never be the same again, the letter says. You start searching around in the pile of letters on the ground. You find an H. You find an O, a U, an S, and an E. You walk over to the spot where the letter A said his house was, and you start to spell it out. House. The letters float in the air, link themselves together, and then, almost magically, they reform themselves into a beautiful house. Well, I never. Someone from a different planet who can actually spell. Maybe we aren't ruined. Spaceship, you say. I think we're gonna need some robots. Can you create a team of robots that can search around and start sorting letters for me? Yes, understood. Letter sorting robots. The back hatch of the ship opens again, and a whole bunch of robots fly out, each one holding something that looks like a gigantic vacuum cleaner. The robots begin to fly through the streets, and, in turn, they suck up all of the letters they can. Letters from broken houses, broken stores, broken signs, broken cars. All of the letters are soon sucked up into the little vacuums. Then, the robots return beside you and the other letters of the alphabet. One by one, they begin to place down piles. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on, until there's a pile for every single letter. I have alphabetized all letters A through Z, lowercase and uppercase, sorted, stacked, and ready for whatever it is you plan. Thank you, Spaceship, you say. The letter A clutches his triangular chest. An alphabetized alphabet? Oh, civilization can rise again. The letter B wobbles with joy. Oh, bless my roundness, we are saved. C throws himself on the ground. Or are we doomed to be slaves to alphabetic order forever? I think you guys might just need to calm down a bit. You wander over to the alphabetic pile, and again, you start scooping up an H, an O, a U, an S, and an E. Once again, you lay them in order on the ground, and instantly they snap together, glow, and with a magical whoosh, a sturdy little house pops into existence, one that's identical to the first one you made. "My house," B says. "My glorious, glorious house is restored, reborn." "Can I make my dollhouse too?" the little lowercase b says, as she begins collecting letters for dollhouse. D-O, 2 L's, H-O-U-S-E. She scrambles the letters together, and with a little bit of help from her parent, she places them in the right order. They snap together magically, and a dollhouse appears. A beautiful dollhouse, almost magically brought into existence from spelling the right letters. As the other letter people realize what's going on, they start to gather around you in a group, and different letters start to shout different demands. "I want my car back." "I want my lamp, or we won't be able to see at night." "I think we need the trees again." You do your best to oblige, grabbing the letters C, A, and R, snapping them together, and creating a beautiful car once again that instantly fires to life. The letter C jumps inside, slams the door, and drives off. You spell the letters for lamp, L-A-M-P, snap them together, and they magically start to appear. Then you start passing out T's, R's, and E's. People grab a hold of them, pile them together, and before long, trees are appearing out of nowhere, all down the street. One by one, the letter people come to you, and one by one, you build them what they wish, using only the letters themselves. You rebuild cars, you rebuild toys for children, you rebuild stores and apartment buildings, and even skyscrapers. But soon, with a whole bunch of letters left over, no one knows exactly why, you start to get creative. If you can build anything using only words themselves, then your imagination is really the limit. You start to think about what could improve society for these letter people, and an idea strikes you. You grab the letters I-R-O-N for iron, and G-O-L-E-M for golem. You place the letters together, and, well, an iron golem appears out of nowhere. "What can I do?" the golem asks. You tell the golem to continue collecting letters and basically help people out in any way it can. "Understood." You build more iron golems, and before long, all of the letter people have golems to help them do whatever they need. Push their kids on the swing, carry their groceries, fix things, whatever. You then get creative with the cars. Instead of just spelling car, you start to get more exact, putting the words together for red flying car. A flying car appears out of nowhere, almost magically. You allow one of the letter F's to take it for a spin, and after seeing what it's like, everyone else wants one too. You build a fleet of flying cars, one for everyone to have. Then you start to ask people what they'd want, or start to ask letter people what they'd want anyways. The kids have some of the best suggestions. Dragons, unicorns, cats, and dogs. You spell them all. And soon, every kid in the neighborhood has a mythical creature or regular-looking pet of their own. One of the residents wants a roller coaster, so with an rollercoaster, a roller coaster magically appears in existence above the entire town. Zoo? No problem. ZOO. Castle? Why not have a castle? CASTLE, and a castle appears out of nowhere. Ice cream fountain? Who doesn't want an ice cream fountain? You grab the letters ICE for ice, CREAM for cream, and FOUNTAIN for fountain. When they snap together, an absolutely absurd creation appears in front of you. A fountain that, well, dispenses soft serve ice cream of almost every different flavor. It's pretty incredible, and by the time you're out of letters, you're pretty proud of what you've created. You look around at the letter planet, and you see the letter people joyously living their lives again, entering their now non-crushed houses, driving their now flying cars, hanging out in the new neighborhood castle, and playing with all of their mythical creatures. The new iron golems have also brought an additional sense of leisure to the area. A lot less to do when you have a team of golems. Repairs complete, you hear Spaceship's voice say. You look back at the letter world one more time, impressed with your creativity and impressed with your spelling ability. You open up the hatch to the ship, climb aboard, and lay down on the couch. The ship lifts up off of the ground, up through the sky, and, it goes around the clouds this time. No need to completely destroy a town again. You blast off into space and jump to super hyperdrive once again. I must say, Spaceship adds, you have some excellent spelling skills. Good job rebuilding that town. Thanks, you say to Spaceship. It was pretty cool. Sort of weird, though, that all you need to do is spell things and they come to life, but it was cool. Indeed, Spaceship says. You rest your head on the pillow, and you stare up at the ceiling, listening to the hum of the ship as it flies at super hyperdrive towards your next adventure. You close your eyes, allow yourself to sink down into the couch, and with each breath, you sink a little bit deeper, letting go of the tension in your arms, letting go of the tension in your legs, letting your shoulders sink down and relax, and allowing your face to soften into a nice half smile. And once you feel completely relaxed, you begin to allow your mind to wander. And wander it does, off to thoughts of new dreams and new adventures to come. Good night, everyone.